saluto a tutti.
What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to La Vecchia Signora. And La Vecchia Signora went ahead and qualified for Champions League, unfortunately, through nothing of our own doing outside of the first half of the season. Wow, yesterday was something else. I couldn't escape the carnival, okay, because I watched that game and then I took my kids to the carnival locally here. At least that was very enjoyable. This particular carnival that we're going to talk about, which was Juve Salernitana, not so much. But we're in Champions League, Anth.
We did it.
You know what? I'll take it anyway because we needed it. We need that cash influx, so we'll take it. But this team, my God, good luck. Good luck to Giuntoli, the guy that's got to get this thing cleaned up. That's insane. That's insane, all right? And yeah, Alex, probably a good thing there was no watch along. We might have had some actual health warnings put out and whatnot on it. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to cover the game, very, very minor coverage of that game because I don't think any of us need to go through it all, but we're going to talk about the aftermath. We're going to talk about the news headlines and everything today, okay? And I just want to remind everybody, if you're tuning in on your audio outlets, head over to YouTube. That's where the magic happens, all right? Subscribe. And for everybody, you guys know the way to support. Like the video, number one, while you're dropping in here, okay? Share the content. Subscribe if you haven't, all right? And merch store. There's a deal on right now. I'm pretty sure it's 15% off everything that's in there. Okay, we got some new designs coming out very, very soon as well. And memberships. And I believe that Rick has just gifted a bunch more memberships. That guy's a legend. He's up to like 35 this season anyways. But again, let's get into it.
Are you going with the 3/4 sleeve? God, I have one of those 3/4 sleeves. Those things are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The shirt?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Full long sleeve today.
It's funny you bring up Rabiot, Alex P. Okay, Mother's Day obviously was yesterday. Okay, hope all the mothers had a good day and everything like that. I'm not getting into Veronique if that's where you think I was going there. I actually have some cool. I started getting my dad involved on some short content that we're going to be doing, and his name's Giovanni. It's Ask Gio, and we had the first session last night, and I almost pissed myself on his take on Adrien Rabiot. So it's going to just be some fun, lighthearted stuff, getting my dad's takes on everything. So I look forward to that one dropping soon. But we are going to get into the news headlines. Motta, Di Marzio doubles down again, saying it appears that it is going to be Motta joining. He says it's hard to turn down Juventus anytime, let alone now. And this is an interesting side of it that not many, because people are thinking maybe he stays, maybe he doesn't, etc. But
Di
Marzio says it's extra enticing now because it's the beginning of a project that he will have major influence on. So that's an interesting one too. And I have some other news coming out of Turin in regards to what I'm hearing with Motta, etc., that we'll get to after we get the brief coverage of the game. Kenan Yildiz suffered a blow to his shoulder. We all saw when he dropped, trying to split two of the Salernitana players. Hurt his shoulder there. Apparently, he's being monitored, and that started today. Sandro and Danilo trained partially with the group today. We'll have eyes on that going into the Coppa Italia on Wednesday, which we will also talk about, all right? So let's say what's up to everybody in here. We got Norbert coming in here. Again, everybody drop your likes in. Opa, Adam, Alex P, we've already said hello to. And yeah, you guys, it wasn't pretty, but we're going to get into it all, okay? So starting lineup, we know what we got in there. We had Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Rugani, Cambiaso, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Vlahovic, and Keane. Yes, a little bit of a strange pairing up there, but we know Yildiz and Chiesa had a virus and whatnot. Salernitana, and not just Salernitana, a third string, a bunch of third stringers there in there for Salernitana. Yeah, you could have pulled in the players' mothers for Mother's Day, and they probably should have got the job done. Ant, anything to say on the starting lineup?
I did not know that Salernitana was using their third stringers or second stringers, whatever. I didn't know that until you mentioned it after the game, and I'm like, makes sense. No, well, the only thing I had was Keane up top. I figured someone was injured or something, but we do have the Coppa Italia midweek. Yeah, we're playing the last place team. What are we even talking about? Shouldn't even talk
With
about the last.
third stringers.
Yeah, shouldn't
Oh,
even matter.
okay. The game. I think the opening, 8 minutes was probably
65 minutes.
okay. The opening, like right at the beginning, was probably
Yes.
okay. Vlahovic had a really good opportunity. 7th minute, he hits the crossbar after the goalie made a good save. Goalie punched it into the crossbar and then out, so the goalie ended up stopping him on that one. But there was a couple opportunities in that opening 5 minutes where we had some passes that could have been made. One specifically from Vlahovic that could have sent Keane through. And he decides against it, ends up losing the ball. They come back at us. And this team, okay, not late, but we're into May. We're well into May. And we still have zero fucking chemistry about our game. It's beyond ridiculous to talk about that. You don't trust a teammate to take that pass or whatever. You're being selfish, whatever. They do not play high percentage balls. They just don't. And it's
ugly.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous to watch. So I noticed that in the opening, that it was like, man, you've got him clear through. Okay, you decide not to take it. You better hope it works out. And of course, it did not. Anyways, Vlahovic, good opportunity there off the bar. 26th minute, whatever the hell it was, they get off to the lead off this corner kick, and Szczesny's got to stop that.
See, we were talking about this in the group chat. If Szczesny gets 2 paws on it, he's got to stop it. Now, it was 6-yard box. That thing's coming pretty quick, short side. I think Tech would even tell you, I should have stopped that.
Oh, yeah. He's got to stop that one.
Yeah.
No question. Anyways, we're down 1. Then we just shit the bed. Like the rest of the half outside of that 8 minutes, like I said, was just a waste from us. A waste from us. They get a free kick in the 31st minute. They force Tech to make a save on that. Tech has to make a huge play in the 36th minute. Otherwise, that's an easy. And honestly, that guy should have done better. He made a mess of it.
Terrible
but Tech
touch.
came out quick. Good on him. Stops it from going 2-0. What the fuck
And
are
took
we doing?
the striker out without causing a penalty.
Yeah.
Tech made up for the mistake on the goal. Right there.
42nd minute outside of the post from Cambiaso, and that's about it for the first half. Okay. Second half, I said leave them out in the rain to do the team talk. Lock the doors. Keep them out there. What are we watching? What are we talking about here? Not just Salernitana, third string Salernitana. And what drove me nuts was our players were getting rattled by these guys. I'm like, these guys, this one guy was probably bagging groceries just last week. And Rugani can't get this guy out of his head. It's like, what's the matter with you guys? How broken is this Juventus? You got a grocery bagger here, and you're letting him get in your head.
Yeah,
just get the job.
Shout out to all grocery baggers out there. You do fine work.
Hey, somebody's
got
to
tip your grocery baggers.
Somebody's got to do it. Okay, but I'm just saying, what the hell, man? What the hell? So, second half. 58th minute. Adrian Rabiot should have been sent off. Okay, and he got lucky, stomping right down on the player's foot. No call. We go back the other way. Chiesa, who entered the pitch, sends Vlahovic through. Okay? Vlahovic, another ball that has to be put back in the net. But the thing is, if that goes in the net, they probably look at that whole sequence and send Rabiot off. And
so I missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I actually missed the 2. I was traveling from one place to another when the 2 yellow cards were given in the first half. I know that some people had some issues with those yellow cards. Can't comment. Didn't see them. Also, the stomp. I was eating lunch, so I sort of missed that sort of start of play. I I'll go with the chat on this one. I have to bring it up.
Rabiot should have got a second yellow on that play. And I think if Vlahovic puts that in, we're down a man and we don't get that goal.
Well,
That's what I think.
You can't review a second. You can't review a yellow. They might have given the foul and taken the goal back. Is what you're saying.
If he gives that foul, he sees that he stomped right down on the top of his foot and gets a second yellow and is sent off.
Yeah, but you can't review for a yellow card. Only a direct red.
He didn't get a yellow card or a red. He didn't call anything. So they would have reviewed to make sure that the ref actually saw that there was a foul there.
They would have given the foul is what you're saying, not a card. They would have just given the foul and overturned the goal. Right. Okay.
He can give a card if they tell him to look at it, because they would have said, did you see him stomp on the foot? If the ref says, no, I didn't see a stomp on the foot, they're going to say, yes, there was a stomp.
Referee can't give a yellow from VAR. Only a red.
Yes, he can. 100%. And that happens.
No, he cannot.
Ant, are you joking me right now? We've seen reds. We've seen reds taken back. We've seen yellows and turn into reds through VAR.
Incorrect. We're gonna get the. It's only straight.
Happened, man. What are you talking about? Yes, you can.
I'm gonna disagree with you on this one.
Oh
you can overturn red cards, but you can't use VAR to give a yellow card. You cannot do that.
It's what it is the cards do come into play because it's error. If it's a direct and obvious error. So if his error would have been if he gave no foul.
Correct.
But if that foul is a yellow card, then yes, he gives a card.
He does not. He just gives the foul. They'll pull the goal back and give the foul. He will not give him a card. Only if it's a red.
What the hell are we saying here?
Everybody in the chat's agreeing with me here. Look at this.
Okay.
Everybody's with me on this one.
You guys do it. You guys do it. Okay? You guys do it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Anyway. So he can only give it if it's a red, not a yellow.
He can only give a card, but he can give the foul. He can overturn the goal because of the foul, but he cannot give a card on the foul unless it's a direct red card. But he can give the foul. He can't give the foul and say, oh, you were in a yellow.
Okay, anyways, it's a clown show then. It's a clown show even further than we think. L'Arbitro Nick is going to come in. He's going to come in on this one. We're going to get clarification on the next show because I swear to God, okay, swear to God, it makes absolutely no sense. So if a challenge deems a card, but the ref made an error on the pitch, and then they say look at it because there's an error, they're not going to give a card. They're just going to give a foul even though it's warranted of a card.
They're not going to give a yellow. They will give the foul. They'll only give a card if it's red.
Then get rid of it completely. Now, anyways.
Or else, Berto, you'd be giving yellow cards all over the place. There'd be VAR calls on
No, I don't think
all
so.
over the place.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's clear and obvious error. But when there's a goal, they look at those. They do go back a bit. We know 100%
that. Agree. So you're saying they would have called that back. So fair enough.
I think they would have called it back. Okay? I think they would have given him a yellow, but you're saying they can't. Whatever. Figure that out. Anyways,
Vlahovic has to finish that goddamn.
Vlahovic on a big miss. We're going to talk about that in a bit, okay? Now, we get to Milik ends up getting a header that gets stopped, whatever, decent opportunity. 87th minute, Moretti with a big rip off the bar. And sometimes you just know you're not going to buy one, and it's not going to be your day.
Somebody said that would have been goal of the year. Not even close for me.
Would have been close to the Weah one. Weah was further out in that Coppa Italia match.
Yards further out.
So, anyway. How many?
Weah was but another 15, close to 20 yards further back than where Moretti
15 to 20 yards. He was probably like 10 back. Moretti was what, 24 out?
Wasn't he just, he was at the top of the 18.
He was at the top of the circle. 23, 24.
Go 23.
Let's be like the old men playing bocce. Let's go out there, get the tape out, get the, Now we get to Rabiot's equalizer. A brutal ball in, I will say. Backheeled by Locatelli. Rabiot's on the back post, makes it 1-1. Nice. Try and
Are
get
we
the
going to
win.
just skip over the Gatti miss, or
We get, oh man, how many misses do we have to skip over? Gatti's header miss, Vlahovic not getting to a head to it, back post coverage not being. There were so many misses in this sequence. It was ridiculous. Rabiot ends up finding the goal. I don't think Gatti actually on his, if you want to talk about it, I don't even think he was going to get, like, I don't think he thought it was going to hit him because the defender in front of him was so close. Yeah, but still, I mean, you got a forehead the size of his. Like, let's get that thing on target, please.
you're on the 6-yard box.
Yeah, let's get that thing on target, please. Miretti finishes us off with a 95th minute volley that just goes wide. Salernitana then, after a brutal Illing Jr. Illing Jr. switch field, and he puts an absolute floating muffin over to the far side. And it gets intercepted by somebody's grandmother because it was so piss poor. Salernitana comes right back down, and my God, we are so lucky. Like, they could have easily killed it. I was kind of
hoping they scored. I wasn't hoping that they scored, but I would have been like, yeah, they scored it. I wouldn't have been surprised, maybe.
My post-match header was pretty much this, and it's, we deserve this. That's how I felt. It's like, we deserve all of what we're getting right now. And I'm going to get into it. There's not a lot to talk about this game. Like, for me, we relived the shit show that has been this entire season in 190 minutes. You had it all. You had starters that didn't reward the coach for starting them, okay? That were just brutal. You had another wasted 63 minutes of fucking football before you got your heads out of your asses and decided to play with right intensity. You had a plethora of wasted opportunities time after time again, and these guys executing at dog shit levels, okay? We relived, and then you had a lack of coaching influence into the mix as well. You had all of this season wrapped up into one nice little pile of shit package given to you in 90 minutes. That's how I felt about this game. And
what a great summary. It was a flaming bag of dog shit left on our doorsteps.
Yeah.
Stomp it out. Yeah. And they made us stomp it out. Actually,
don't put it out with your boots, Ted. All right? But you always do. You always do. And that's what happens, all right? So it's just infuriating that we have come to this point, and this is still, like, you're at home. Like, you don't get better conditions than this to just give the fans one goddamn moment, okay?
Something nice. Give us something nice.
Put us in there on our own accord. This is crazy, okay? But here we are. We have qualified through the other results. That's ultimately all that matters. But you have a Coppa Italia final now. We all want that trophy and whatnot. And I said after this game, my faith has dwindled down. Okay, and I've been the optimistic one. I've been in there. I know you're saying we're winning that trophy.
I said before this game yesterday, bet heavy on the 1-1 because Lucci predicted. I'm like, bet heavy on the 1-1. I did not because I didn't have time. Boom, that was a big hit. I'm saying for Wednesday, bet heavy on a big Juventus win. Heavy.
Yeah,
I think I have nothing to back that up. Nothing. I just think we're gonna win big on
reset button.
Oh my God, it's like the size of the moon.
Blow this thing up. Blow this thing up. I'm gonna say it right here, okay? I'm gonna go like this. Ridiculous game. We talked about it. The opponent, you're at home. The fact that they've got third stringers in there, you find a way. You got to get the job done. Blow it up. 2 wins in 15. Only time that has been worse is 1956.
Before LSD was invented.
Yeah, because I was like, that would be the only thing that could really get us through it. But
That wasn't
before,
invented yet, but yeah.
and too late
Green
for
room is awesome.
prohibition. So
It was in
actually,
between.
thankfully, they did have the booze to get
They had
through it.
lots of booze.
The numbers, man. The numbers.
Yeah, I can give you some numbers. They're quite exciting. So I was looking at this after the game. I've been tracking these games all year, and for moments like this, for moments like this. So the first 21 games versus the last 15. Now I know there's a 6 game difference, but it's not going to matter. So the first 21 games. So this is up to the Empoli. So this ends with the Lecce 3-0 win away, and then the last 15 starts with the Empoli draw. Right, 1-1. Yeah. First 21 games, 16 wins, 1 loss, 4 draws. We were shut out once, and that was a 0-0 draw to Atalanta. In those 21 games, we had 11 clean sheets. Also in those games, we went up 1-0 17 times. 17 of the 21 games we scored first. 15 wins, 2 draws. The last 15 games, when everything just went off the rails. 2 wins, 9 draws, 4 losses. We've been shut out 6 times in those 15 games. How many clean sheets have we had? 1. We've had one clean sheet. 1 clean sheet in the last 50. This is just Serie A games. I'm not talking about the Coppa Italia games. We've had 1 clean sheet. So, of course, we've drawn 5 in a row. In those 15 games, we've gone up 1-0 twice. And one of them was we went up 1-0, but then we went down 2-1 to Frosinone. I had to come back and win that one 3-2. First 21 games, 35 goals. Last 15 games, 14 goals. It's a complete switch.
Just debauchery here.
Like it's you can look. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the management. You can look at the management, you can look at the players, you can look at the coach. Those numbers just say it's a complete 180 from the beginning of the year.
We tried to sit down and think about this. Like I have never in my days followed any team or any sport and seen such a collapse. I've never seen it.
We couldn't think of, maybe somebody might think of some in the chat, but we could not think of a team that's collapsed like this. 180 like this.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, and it probably takes some digging to find, but one way or another, stop the bleeding.
But
I said stop the bleeding.
Some teams have like I'll just go like the Steelers. They went 11-0 one year, but they were not good. Like you could tell they were not good. I thought we were good in the first 21 games. Like we had some issues here and there, but we were like scraping at wins. Like it's like a complete flip. I think it's really a complete flip from that between that Lecce and Empoli game.
It's ridiculous. I said a while ago, stop the bleeding. And this is why I'm going to get into all of this right now and how I personally feel, okay? Wasted time. Wasted time. This club has been notorious for wasting time over these past few seasons.
It's our most precious resource, time.
From all aspects and all levels. Right now, I know you have a couple of temps in at the top in Ferraro and Scanavino. That's what they are, okay? And I've called it out for a while. The focus has been so heavily on financials and getting the financials where they need to be that they have lost complete touch with the actual footballing matters and aspects. And I get it that Giuntoli's just come in, it's been a year, whatever, and everything like that. But regardless, okay? Set the fucking tone with some standards. They've let the standards slide. They've let this subpar shit go for way too long. And it's gone to a point where I think now it's also very difficult because they never drew that line in the sand. Regardless, as we can all pretty much agree, it is not just Allegri. Somebody had to take the fall before it reached this point. And you do that for multiple reasons. It's not just about objectives. It's about more than that. It's about setting standards, building a culture, what you want this team, what direction you want them to go in. Without doing that, at the point when many were actually saying, okay, like, can he keep making it? Can he keep making it? Can he keep making it? If everyone, media included, and everyone is wondering how this guy still remains, you probably should have made that call. And that draws a line in the sand and then says even to the players, hey, and when we start hearing rumors like they're looking for reassurances and shit, shut the fuck up and get your job done. But you never, ever establish that from a management standpoint. And they take heavy blame from me because they've wasted time. Now, I'm not saying we would have got the next coach. Obviously, we wouldn't have got the next coach in. You just get an intern in there. And no, not Landucci, not anyone closely related to what the hell we're going in. Okay? Mm-hmm. Pull up Montero if you have to for just that period of time, and then get your guy in the summer. But at least you draw a line in the sand and say, guys, to the players, this guy took the fall, but he's not solely responsible for this. And a lot of you guys are on contracts or whatnot. We need what? We need volunteers, not hostages.
Volunteers, not hostages. That's
but
right.
They never did that, and they wasted time. And I honestly think when you look at trying to evaluate the players, it's very hard to make those decisions based on this run. Do you kind of agree with that, Anth?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in the green room when I was trying to give you a history lesson. But like you said, Cambiasso is the only player you keep. And I'd like to see what the group chat thinks about other players. You know me, I'd say it's Bremer, Vlahovic, Cambiasso, keep those three and just sell everybody else. Talking about lines in the sand, yeah, that line was, I say 2 weeks ago. Now that you have 5 draws in a row.
I think it was before then, to be honest. I can't remember when I exactly said stop the bleeding. I'll take a look as you give your thoughts. I'll try. Was it
the Torino draw on the 14th of April? Could have been then. So I would say my line in the sand would have been today. You know, I understand that the coach got you to a Coppa Italia final. I know that there's 2 games left that essentially don't really mean much. Juventus isn't going to be the club that's going to fire a coach middle of the season, during the season. They've never done that. So I understand it from that aspect, how management's not going to make any changes while there's still games to play. But I would have changed his passcode in the building this morning. I wouldn't have let any of the coaching staff in today. I would have made the change today for the last 3 games.
Yeah. Alex has a good point, though. I will say that he thinks it's good for evaluation because nothing allows you more to see that when you're knee deep in the shit. That's actually a fair point. But I'm gonna say this. As far as the players go, I'm at a point right now. I'm taking offers on everyone outside of Cambiasso. If there's an upgrade to be made, I'm literally interested. I'm dead serious there. Like, if there's an upgrade to be had, I'm taking offers on pretty much everyone outside of Cambiasso.
I agree to that. I just don't think there is a cheap upgrade to Vlahovic or Bremer. That's why I would keep them. I think, but Cambiasso as well. Everybody else, I agree. We got to
talk about Vlahovic. Obviously, that miss. Mm-hmm. There's just too many of those. There's way too many of those. There's still a lot that feel, let's see him under like a different system, a different coach, whatever. But like, a miss is a miss. Big chances are big chances. Like, that's his job. And if you're getting paid that kind of money, those are chances I need in the back of the fucking net. And the rest starts to turn into noise. When you hit the amount of big chances missed that he has, and you've got a team struggling for goals, it's not about chances created anymore. It's about these chances straight in front of you that you're not burying. It's a different discussion.
I like to compare his big chance numbers and goals versus other strikers. I don't have those numbers. I know I've seen it out there with Haaland, but he's sort of like that. I like to compare with other strikers in Italy's. For me, like my own personal, I do this with some players. He's the one guy who I'd say double his salary. So I disagree with you in the sense because I think you're saying he's open for sale. I think he's one of the players that we cannot sell.
No, I haven't necessarily said that, but I'm saying that if there
You have to
is
have a
an
conversation.
upgrade to be had, I would probably think about, even though I've said for a while, Vlahovic has shown me a lot this calendar year. I was talking about a lot in terms of himself being a beating heart of the team and everything. But part of being a beating heart of the team is actually executing as well. And I think he's leaving that side of the equation. He's leaving it out there. That's a big matzo ball hanging out there on Vlahovic.
Well, he's got to stop getting subbed off in the 70th minute. That doesn't help either.
The chances fall to him in those minutes. Got to put the ball in the net. And he was guilty of some higher percentage plays in there and not taking them. I don't know, man. Like, and this is why I say I find it hard to evaluate, because this team still has like next to nothing for chemistry in May. And that's why I think it's tough to, like, if you're not taking high percentage plays, to me, that falls back on the coaching. It really does, because
he's not confident in the teammate he's passing it to.
I know, but if you're a coach and you're trying to build something, whatnot, you deal with that. You deal with that. You say, hey, play the high percentage. Trust your teammates. If you don't have that trust, okay, that's a separate issue, and that has to be tended to based on who you're playing, what you're going with. But overall, if we're not taking the high percentage plays there, what the fuck are we doing? Because we're not playing as a team. And it's evident. It's evident. Yep. It's a bunch of individuals slapped on a fucking field. All our mistakes, all our problems have everybody involved. Players, coaching, management, everything. As far as Allegri goes, this has been my biggest knock on Allegri. You guys all know. And it was one of the things evident last season. For me, the guy, like, I don't care who is behind. I don't care if it's Caviglia. I don't care if it's Moretti. I don't care if it's Moretti's younger brother who's 7 years old. If you have guys shitting the bed for game in, game out for weeks on end, don't start them. Set some type of standard. And that hasn't happened from Max's end.
Yeah, Rabiot had a nightmare yesterday. That was probably the worst game I've ever seen him play.
But this is what I mean. We went from an issue where we had probably, one midfielder that was like kind of here or there type of thing. It's turned into all three of them being shit now. And none of them have been tested. None of them have been challenged like, hey, you know what? You're not starting. You're not starting today. None of them have got that. McKennie has been shades of himself for a while now. For weeks now.
Ever since he did that shoulder, and he's got, I'm not going to say I'm going to blame it on the injury, but it really was when that shoulder and he was off. When he came back from that, it's been...
Rabiot, been a while. Locatelli, it's been a while. You went from a point where you probably needed to challenge one guy out of them to you need to challenge all of them. All of them. And nobody ever did that at any point. Max never did that. And for me, he takes big blame in making it way too fucking easy for these players to get away with that shit. That's his biggest fault, in my personal opinion. What do you think, Anthony?
Player management. Yeah, I've had these questions sometimes. Like, there's games we're playing once a week. Like, what are we talking about here? We're in one competition. You can't tell me these guys can't do a Coppa Italia game midweek and then play on the weekend. Like, you're telling me that Chiesa and Vlahovic can't play together for 90 minutes? It's a struggle to figure out how to get Yildiz, Chiesa, and Vlahovic on the field at the same time. What the hell are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, anytime he takes one of those three off, or the two main guys off before the 70th minute, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're the highest paid manager in the league. What is it? The third highest or fifth highest in Europe? What are we? You can't figure it out. And I know there's the Allegri backers out there to say, "Oh, it's the players." No, it's on him as well. Like, he's paid that. You want to hang on. People want to go in on Vlahovic for the money he makes and not scoring goals. You got to go in on Max twice as hard for not figuring out any sort of system with these guys after 3 years.
I've seen the biggest Allegri backers also switch. Everybody, like, there's nothing left there to hang on to.
Oh,
There really
people are
isn't.
hanging on. They are.
Vidad says, when did Max do that in his first stint out? Vidad, my answer would be those guys didn't need
Didn't
that
need to
level
be.
of challenging. And when the squad was rotated, those guys, and those guys that were rotated in weren't top tier either. But they went in and
Exactly.
did their job.
Yep. 100%.
Fuck, we made a Champions League final with what? Lemina as a fucking back, as a bench option, as I believe Storaro was on that side too and stuff. It's
Who
like,
started that? Somebody from Next Gen had to come up for that game, or from the youth squad had to come up. Yeah.
yeah, it's like they weren't lights out on the bench, but they did their job. And standards, can we say that the standards weren't at least maintained back then? You had way too many guys involved to not have standards back then, Vidat. You had all those leaders still around. Do you think, like, I remember the brutal start to 15-16 season. The players called it themselves. They didn't need upper management they didn't need the coach to step in there. Buffon and Chiellini were two major guys that led the charge and said, guys, listen up. And they established the standards. It didn't have to come from upper management. It didn't even have to come from the coach, for God's sakes.
Yep. Started in
The
the change room.
difference in class and standards and where we are is night and day. And it's evident. We're seeing it. We're
Yeah,
seeing it.
it's pretty evident. See, it's 11 individuals out there. It's 10 individuals playing.
As far as
The only thing that's been consistent this year is our goalkeeping. Tech and Padin have done their jobs. Those two guys have, whenever they're called, they've made mistakes here and there. I get it, but those two guys are the only two that have consistently done their jobs.
it is, for me, there's just this disconnect with everything going on around Juve and what we're accustomed to. And it's evident. There's a lot of work to be done. Okay. I think the focus has been far too much on the financials. Obviously, you have to focus there and you have to get that right, but they've let a lot of shit fly by the wayside. At some point, you have to reestablish the culture. And the standards need to be set. Wasted time. This is going to be very, very difficult because there are some fans that said we wasted this season, a season that you had one competition you were going to be in, you were going to get back into Champions League, okay? And you could have used this entire year to get back into Champions League, one competition, see what happens in Copa, whatever. But the biggest thing was get back into Champions League. Hopefully, like we had to endure this season, get into Club World Cup with those other clown shows, shit in the pants, which they did. And then you're going into all these comps, but that's 1 year of development and build into a new vision. And now it's like, hey, we didn't take this year to do that. And now we've got a summer to kind of get ready with a new coach and everything. But at the same time, everything happens for a reason. And maybe the targets that are available now at coach are better and it might end up better in the long run. But that's what some feel, Ant.
Better it happened this year than next year. I'd
Yeah.
rather what happened this season happen this year instead of next year. You're in Champions League, you have Coppa Italia, you're getting ready for a club. Imagine us sitting here and we're a month away from the Club World Cup. Like
Yeah.
we'd say, don't even go. Don't even send this team to the Club World Cup. At least we have 1.5 windows to help. We got the summer and we got the winter. I know we don't actually, we've made some big splashes in the winter market recently, but I would say we have a window and a half to get it right, and a big one's going to happen in a couple of weeks. What everybody's saying is that Mota's coming in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And
And Juventus isn't traveling to the US this year, which I think is a good thing for this summer.
it's probably you just need to focus on your own shit. And I've seen
Agreed.
a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, I'm a part of a lot of chats around Juventus, and
Yeah, I know how
I
you am on
saw some stuff come out yesterday that was like just hashing out everything, and like
Like what?
talking about
Ice
the
cream?
points debacle and them wanting us even as a fan base internally to like go at one another, and they're seeing us crumble and break and they love it and all this and whatnot, and I'm like, just stop. Like, stop. Juventus needs to look at themselves and no one else.
Yep.
So all of those involved, I really have a problem when we're reaching so far to find the root of the problem, and we're taken away from ourselves and we start pointing. No. Okay? Like, this is 100% what we deserve because we have played with fire and we have let the standards slide. Nobody has acted out on it. Nobody has stepped in. No one has intervened. You've allowed this to get to the point where it's at. You stood by and you said, by not doing anything, you have said, we're okay with this at least until the rest of the season.
We're evaluating everything. Yep.
Well, you know
Which
what?
I don't.
We got into the Champions League. Thank Christ. Okay, we got into the Champions League. The Coppa Italia. I'll be here. Be doing a watch along for you guys. Okay, we're gonna
Nice.
ride it out together. But I expect a bunch of guys to start,
3-1 win.
and I think that we're close to a handful that could care less, and that's a big time issue for me.
I think it's a 3-1 win this week. Big win. Big win.
I hope you're right. But the good news is, everybody, it's coming to an end soon. Okay.
Oh yeah,
we all need out of this season. We all need out of this season. I said this yesterday, like, honestly, and through the banter era, I enjoyed watching that team more than this season.
It's true. It's a true statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't.
And The Rock
there's no enjoyment.
has just joined the AJC army. We got the people's champ, baby.
That's what I like to see.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, it's painful. And you know what hurts the most? This is a season I love all three kits, and they're going to be associated with one of my least favorite seasons ever to watch.
Okay, you want to know something? The kit coming next year, I was very excited for that third kit with the horse on it. Why'd they go and put a collar on a jersey with the button?
Oh, you're like Sev. Sev hates the collar. I don't mind the collar. It's okay.
You look like a valet driver. Why do you got to do the... It would have been our nicest kit in a decade, and they went and put a collar. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Man, it's tough, but Dell's saying it's crazy to say that, Al, but you're 100% right. I've never felt so disconnected from the team as now. It's rough. It's rough. It's been a rough go. We're getting to the end.
Here, aren't we? Look at us. We're all here.
You know, the news, like we talked about, Thiago Motta seems to be the guy coming in. I'm going to pull up that kit. We'll talk about it in a bit because the latest leaks and whatnot looked pretty good, but we'll bring it up. Thiago Motta, How do you feel about it?
Well, I think a young coach, different ideas. It's a change. I I think the whole I think football in general is sort of moving away from these older coaches. They've done great. I just think football in general has changed in terms of the players and what the players have to experience off the field, all the social media stuff. I think you have to have some sort of coach that understands that, like the off field stuff, but just someone with with fresh ideas. I just don't see us we haven't had a fresh idea since we updated the menu in the cafeteria at J Medical. Other than that, we haven't had anything new
What
for this team.
I
I heard they changed the pudding for the patients at
I
J Medical.
I stand firm that I need somebody new. I don't need a return.
Oh
Um,
God,
it,
no.
it it has to be somebody new. There is still a lot, a lot of Juventini calling for Conte
Oh
and
yeah,
wanting Conte. I get it. Believe me,
100%,
I
100% get it.
I get it. But
Don't want
I'm
it.
just like we just need something fresh, okay? But it's not going to end at the coaching role.
Mhm.
Like this roster needs
Oh yeah,
serious work.
needs at
So
least four. I thought it was gonna be three players. We might need like three or four new starters.
yeah,
I'm thinking
and
there could
like
be like 7 to 8 significant changes.
Alex P saying Malta has his work cut out from absolutely. Without significant reinforcements, it could get ugly.
I didn't think it was significant, Alex, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's
It's tough not to. Like
significant.
I think we're gonna need some serious help based on kind of what we're seeing.
What's the
Even
budget?
if Malta disappoints, it can't be worse than this. Oh my god.
Hard to argue with that one. Hard to argue.
It's hard to argue with it, but I don't even want to think about worse than this. I just said it's the worst Juve side. I like even going back to the banter era, I enjoyed watching that team
Okay.
more.
I would rather a team compete, like at least show some sort of effort week in and week out and finish fourth than what the hell we just watched for the past couple months.
I hear you 100%. 100%. I want to remind everybody, please get those likes in. We're almost at Storm the Barn session. Get the
Oh my
likes in
god,
here.
this is
I
gonna be
want
good.
to ask, is it a bigger risk? Are we taking too big a risk, like in terms of looking at Malta versus the Conte thing? Because while we both say we want somebody fresh, is it a bigger risk than going with Conte?
I think. Wow, the devil you know versus the devil you don't. So
Yeah.
Conte is going to be a 1 year, maybe two, right? That's all it's going to be. He's going to lose that shine like a new car that now if you get into an accident, everyone's just going to be like, I don't need this heap of junk anymore. Motta is a long term play, and I think Juntli is going with the long term play here.
This is
That's it.
interesting because in the live, a few people have chimed in and said it's kind of split here. You got George saying no, Dell saying no, it's not at all, and Vidad saying yes. Conte is guaranteed results. Matt saying Conte would fix the culture for sure.
But I think he
And
would.
Rick Owsey saying, Mamma Mia, no way. Again, the ex-girlfriend.
Sometimes those ex girlfriends, though. Hang on, is my wife home? Okay. Anyways, the it's the term of the project. Conte, I think, is a short term. I agree in the short term. I do not agree with that in the long term. And I
Yeah.
think the team's looking for a long term solution here.
I feel
Oh, and Wings of
like,
Winter coming in on tech. Like, oh my god,
hey, he's got it.
oh,
He's got to
he
keep it.
has his
I
agenda.
appreciate the
Fair enough.
consistency.
Fair enough.
Wing of Winter, you don't change for anybody. All right.
That's true. He has gone BD on tech since day one.
Fucking love it. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta respect it.
You
You gotta
take that
respect it.
flag and you fucking spike it into the ground, no matter who it
He's
is.
he spiked it into the moon so no one can change it. No one's going
And
up there to change
I
it ever.
respect it. I
Yeah, you gotta have
respect
some
it.
respect.
I don't
Yeah,
agree, but I
yeah.
respect it.
I'm the dead opposite. But what? Hey, yeah.
Now, it's like and this is the point that I got to get to, and RB Comps kind of hit it for like my thought process. And I can go back to the discussion you and I had right
Hmm.
here on this show when he came in. Nobody predicted 2.0 would be like this.
Some people did. You want
Some
there's
people
some people.
didn't have faith that it would be like glory
Yes,
days.
right.
But to this degree, breaking negative records, I don't think anybody.
We did. We definitely did not say that.
No.
That's we did not. We were like, good decision. This is the right way to go. But man, we were wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Every like and the ones that had their doubts, they might have had their doubts, but I don't think anybody thought to this
And
level,
look at
this
Forza
degree.
Inter
It's
coming in
it's
here with
crazy.
the gall to put 2 stars beside his name. You son of a bitch.
Now,
Anyways, welcome. We appreciate the support.
you know what? It's we got to take our lumps. We got to take our lumps. There was FFF there with the calculator. I absolutely roasted him yesterday. I'm surprised he's not in here today because, you know, I would take the lumps, you know, because if you dish it, you got to be able to take it. It's all fair game. It's all banter as long as it's respectful. It is what it is, okay? In terms of Storm the Barn, we are going to get to Storm the Barn. I did want to bring up that kit because you guys know I love my kits. I want to bring it in. Let's get this out of the way. And let's pull this bad boy out and see what we think here. So, Ant, you don't like that collar, eh?
Oh, okay. Look at the collar. Look at that. Looks like something that they'd put on a shirt in 1987. What are we doing here? With the
I,
button. Look at the size of the button. It should be like
come
a
on,
clown button.
man.
Put a clown
Like
button
this.
on it.
No, listen. Number one, you never do the button up. You just let it go and you fucking let a little bit of that hamburger meat out, Ant, okay? Anyways, this is good. This is nice. What I still think I need to see when it comes in is I need to see how much of that reflective the J logos underneath kind of are, all right? So all we're
And then
seeing
you know what
is
happens?
mock-ups
You
and
want to know what
stuff like
happens
that,
with
but this is
you want to know what happens with
solid.
the collar? Look, the collar, it starts to like those things. Unless you get the iron on there, the steamer, those little tips start to curl up. And it
Dude,
looks
what
like
you
it looks
got?
like a
You got a
clown.
neck like Kurt Angle or something? What's the matter with these collars? It,
Just
it doesn't. You don't even
the
feel it when it's on.
I didn't want to look at it. Get it off the screen. Get it off. I don't want to look at it. With the
It's a
collar.
beaut. It's a
Look, hang on. Let me
beaut.
look. You put your thumb over the collar. Oh, look at that. Boom. Put that right over the collar. Oh, yeah. No. Oh,
Oh man, you are
it's
Walter
disgusting.
Matthau. You are Walter Matthau.
Hmm.
Just a
Well,
grumpy old man. Now, I
collars.
think it's actually what looked weird in that. The only thing that looked weird in this for me is like how far apart the like logos are. Like that's why these mock-ups. I need to see it in person. That looks way too spread out. You know,
Yeah.
no.
And then
But I
you gotta
do
put
think
an ad on it.
it it looks a little bit more blue than the charcoal we were supposed to get.
Yes. It's supposed to be darker.
And that's why I say I need to see it in person. I still like it. I still like it. And overall, I do like kits without a collar. I will say that, but the collars don't bother me. Some of our best kits have had collars. 14, 15 home shirt, 97, 98 home shirt. 17, 18 had like a priest collar almost on
You
that
just
thing,
said
and that was
you said two ones in the 90s.
one of our
Yeah, the 90s that
beauties.
was fine.
Oh, so what changed? As you got older, you just hate collars.
Yeah, because they start to tickle and stuff. I don't deal with it.
Man, there's no satisfying. No satisfying. Okay? Coppa Italia. We're going to leave on that note after Storm the Barn. We got to get to Storm the Barn. You guys have been firing away, so our each fired a few here. Can we expect Chiesa 2026 announcement soon? I am waiting eagerly. Listen, and Ant said he expected them to change the locks today and whatnot. this, Max has pretty much said it. You've waited this long, you can wait a little bit longer. It's done, you guys. At season's end, the day after Monza, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they announced before the last game played. I wouldn't be surprised. But it'll be in and around that Monza game that we get the final word. And then as far as contracts, look for the announcement on guys that have been waiting, like right away as season's end.
I think it's going to fall like dominoes.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Saw Atalanta versus Roma yesterday. Coop Mainers was phenomenal. I think we will need to spend 55 to 60 million to bring him in. His price may even go up higher after the Euros. Thoughts?
Man,
I don't think they're going to wait till the Euros. I think if Giuntoli is serious about him, and we've talked about this yesterday, Omer and I in the preview, with some of these other free agents dropping out and not becoming available in the midfield, it sounds like Coop, we talked about it here, we think we need to go after him. And I think he's going to pull.
They're going to pull the trigger on I didn't think they're going to spend this much, but I think they're going to pull the trigger. I think they'll throw in a player there to try and lower that.
Because I do agree with Norbert here. Like, 60 is way too much. But you know what? It's about getting upgrades. We need upgrades desperately, and he's probably the prime candidate in the midfield. But there are some other shouts for players on close to that money. But I don't know. I would go for Coop, to be honest. And I know Zubamendi's in there, these other names, and some are like, let's go that road, Thuram, etc. But I would personally go with Coop because for me, he could play every position in the midfield. And should we back off this? It's
I thought, I've said this the whole time, this whole season, that we are sellers first this summer. But now it's like we may have to spend to get one in and then start selling to reinforce, right? Get that first big player in, start selling to reinforce around them. I think I'm going to have to agree with you and Omer, even though I don't like doing that. I really don't like
the midfield has been ignored for far too long, and
got to get it fixed.
If you're looking at a difference, and here's the thing, is like, yeah, he may be 60, but like the other guys you're kind of listed in it, 30, 40 million. The jump, how big is that jump? Is that jump worth that extra 20 million? Maybe not. But is it worth maybe selling a young guy that you were on the fence about? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, if you got to sell one more guy to make up that 20, I'm doing it. If it means selling Illing Jr. to get close to 20 million capital to bring you up the difference to get Coop versus a guy that maybe isn't around that range, yeah, I'd do it. We got to boost this team.
I didn't think Houston would be on the sale block. I'm starting to think that Yildiz is the only one they ain't going to sell. I think everybody else. I agree with you. I think any young player outside of Yildiz is now. There's too many holes. Like I didn't think there was this many holes. There's just too many. You have to start selling.
You have to make a big push. And again, standards, where the fans stand, all of this, you need a statement. So this is a bit of a statement from Juve. They go out and get a guy like that can make a big boost, that can make an impact and whatnot. How they follow through. This mercado is a statement mercado. I know it has to be a zero mercado, but it's got to be a statement from Juventus. That's what we need. Coop Mainers, Modric, Nandez, Samardzic, Kolpani. Who among these midfielders do you see us joining realistically? Samardzic, Kolpani, and Coop Mainers. Not all three. 2 out of those 3 I would expect to be in here. And my picks would be Coop and Samardzic. If Modric would be willing to come here on a free as a support player and allow a salary that would make sense for that, I would do that in a heartbeat, and I would pick him up and put him on my back and walk him to Turin. Okay? But yes.
Yeah. Modric is free. Nandes, I'm not sure. Coop Mainers and Samardzich, that's going to cost you $80 million for those two.
I could see it happen. But again, counterparts, sales, you can swing it. You could swing it.
Colpani, I'm not sure.
Colpani, there was a lot of talks about Meretti going to Monza and either Di Gregorio or Colpani coming as part of the deal.
What about Calafiori from Bologna? Is he
Calafiori's 25 mil, and that's a must sign for me. That's a must sign for me. So, sales, man. Guys are going to have to be sold.
Guys are going to have to be sold.
Oh, yeah. But we need a shakeup. We need a big shakeup. I need to see a good, healthy change from who's been in here.
But the thing is, I'm confident that Junsley can do it.
I got this little nugget yesterday, everybody, and I don't know. It's just there's been so much to talk about. But in terms of Mota, what I heard was that there's a little bit more around it. There is an agreement in place with Thiago Motta and Juventus. Not necessarily an agreement, but there's an offer. There's obviously an offer put down from Juventus. What I heard yesterday, and again, you take everything with a grain of salt, but I'm hearing that it actually also, part of this plays into who he can bring to Juventus. And Juve's two main guys that they want help with Motta, Calafiori, and Xerxes. Ferguson, the injury affected that completely from Juve's standpoint. Yeah, he joined the club that Ant's a part of. We heard about that. But pickleball's a hell of a game.
Oh my God.
Ant's been ripping up the grannies. Okay.
Domination.
I don't know how. You're in my world, Grandma.
Oh my God. So many spikes in the foreheads. It's awesome.
Oh my God. Now, that's what I'm hearing is that the offer's there, but they are looking for some type of influence there also from him in help with the guys that they want.
Not a guarantee that if you come, you must bring these players. Just like we will sign you, but we need some sort of.
Well, they want that help. They want this kind of like push, like, hey, we need something from you too. Like, do everything in your power to like get these guys over here. All right. The other thing that's in the background here that nobody's really covered out there other than one small blip in the media, Saputo. Saputo, who owns, obviously, we know him for owning, okay, it's cheese, whatever, but Montreal, he owns the Montreal Impact. He also owns Bologna.
Mm-hmm. He owns another team, too.
He does not fuck around.
No, he does not.
And apparently, what I'm getting is that he is not wanting his team broken up. And he does not want Motta leaving. It's still a big question mark there.
It's conceivable he may put a big counteroffer.
They're in Champions League. We'll see what happens. But these are just little tidbits I got yesterday. I'll keep you guys in the loop because all of a sudden everybody's creeping up out of all these rocks that they've been hiding on for months or whatever, and everybody's acting like they know something, so I'm just sharing whatever I get. Guys, remember, even journos, they're all weathermen. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's one of the few gigs you could be wrong and still just keep rolling. Okay?
And Justin B, Justin B, that's exactly what it's like. I have you enter the cage with this guy, I have no mercy. No mercy on the pickleball court.
Oh my God. Is it your serve? You could trouble me for a tall glass of shut the hell up.
You're in my world now. Read the name tag.
Lipping these grannies off.
Grandma.
Man of the match, Adam. I'll tell you who the man of the match is. The fans for watching.
100%.
100% man of the match. Now, Di Catalare, for scoring the goal that sees Juve qualify after beating Roma. Let's take that. Thanks, Di Catalare. Kind of looks Willy Wonka looking motherfucker. Now, in terms of the fans, somebody brought up earlier the stadium atmosphere. Guys, I talked about the Curva. I talked about the Ultras. For a while, you guys, I have felt that they've become annoying. Okay?
Yep.
They become annoying. And you're making a stand that, oh, the J library is back, etc. I also don't understand the fact that these other people don't, like, I don't understand how you can go to a game like that and just be silent anyways. Like, I don't really get it. But from a club's perspective, and like when I look at North America and I look here at sports, there's no friggin' ultras, whatever, but like they find other ways. They have guys with megaphones that aren't part of groups that always look out for their own ulterior motives. They just literally fire everybody up, and they just lead the charge.
Look at English football. I think okay.
Hand out some goddamn drums to people. Get guys in every section with a megaphone. You know what this is what I would have done, because I'm a petty motherfucker when you piss me off. Okay? The second the Curva said that they were going to do this, okay? When the second that they said, oh, we're doing silence for this game, a game that decides whether we can clinch Champions League, I would have said, no problem, as Juventus. And I would have put out a post immediately after stating, to the loudest section in that stadium versus Salernitana, we're comping that entire section's tickets for that game. I would have done that. And I would have handed out drums to every motherfucker that walked in the door. And I would have been like, let's go.
So the new, funny that you bring that up, the LA Clippers in the NBA, they're building a new stadium, and well, okay, it's an arena, but they'll be able to tell which section is loudest during a play. Like, let's just say somebody hits a 3-pointer, they'll be able to say, okay, section 100 was the loudest at that play, and they're going to shoot T-shirts of that player into that section. That sounds awesome.
I agree with. Football without the ultras is made, but it's all the bullshit that comes with it. That is.
Yeah, well, hang on, Norbert. American fans are bad. Like, let's just settle down, bud. Settle down. You've obviously never been to an NFL game or a college football game.
The college football games have like 100,000 in there. Down. They're insane.
Go to an NCAA football game and then come back into this chat. That's one of the best sporting events on the planet. Stop it.
The college football game is unbelievable until you have gone. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're selling.
I saw a guy cutting a statue, a block of ice with a chainsaw at the tailgate, and another guy it was the trunk, the bed of his truck. He put the tailgate down and he rolled a bar of booze, 3-level bar of booze off. It was set up into the tailgate of his truck. I'm telling you, that's an experience.
When a college game can rival a professional, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Eric put it perfectly. It's a religion in the U.S. It's not a sport. It's a religion.
Yeah, football, and of course, the North American football is insane in the States. But again, they do this without organization.
Correct.
And that's all we're trying to say is that you don't need the organization. It's amazing because it's all we know in European football. Mm-hmm. So we literally think that's the only way. Oh my God, but these guys aren't here. We should just sit in our chairs here or whatever. It's like, well, no, figure it out.
English fans aren't allowed banners and flags and stuff. They figured it out.
Yeah,
I hate to give the English any credit for anything, but they figured it out. Figure it out. Stop whining like a little bitch and figure it out.
It just pisses me off, all the nonsense that comes with it. I think Sam kind of put it the best here. I did see a comment here, and it goes, when they start to care more about their agendas than the team, that's where I disconnect. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Because at the end of the day, I really don't care about their agenda. This is the same group that, number one, is now trying to seem like they're the pedestal of fandom by saying, oh, we back Allegri, all this. You guys were spitting on him when he got off the bus when he first showed up for his gig.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
100%.
When he took it from Conte. You guys were the ones that threatened with all the bullshit against the team in Champions League. Like, it's like regular fans aren't doing that. Okay? So their agendas, it becomes tiring. It really, really does. Now, with the man of the match breaking out into the fans and everything, now we got Vidal. Given that Conte run this race before, Al Spy that said Spalletti will be next coach. Do you think management will go for Conte and get Spalletti after World Cup? And would you be happy with that? I think Spalletti's going to be done, I think, after that. Like, I don't know what he's going to do after the Italian gig, and nobody really knows what's going to happen with Spalletti in general. But Conte and then Spalletti, I'm not so good with just even Conte right now 100%, to be honest, Vidal. I'm like, fresh ideas, somebody that could potentially be long-term. Like, let's look at a guy that can pull another 5 years. That's why I'm intrigued by Malta.
Let's look at a guy that isn't a no-no. Can we not bring in a no-no? How about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's... But let's say,
Stop
for shits and giggles, for Vidal's question, if it went Conte into Spalletti, would I be upset with it? Probably not.
Yes.
I wouldn't be upset with it.
I would be.
You would be?
Mm-hmm. Both short-term solutions. The hell are you looking at? You know I'm right.
I'm looking at a grumpy-ass old man. Now, George says the strikers with the most big chances missed are the best strikers in the world. In modern football, we realize that it's not about the ability to finish, but to create. If you create, the goals will come. I mean, sure. Yeah, big chances missed. You've got the best strikers with a lot to their name. But I'd also have to say that, like, there's more to it. It's not just the numbers. It's the games. It's the situations. It's the scenarios.
Situations are situational. Yeah, I still think goals per big chances. I still think he's better than some strikers out there. But the fact is, like, and he's our leading goal scorer. So we're not going to completely dump on the guy. He's our leading goal scorer by a country mile. And he gets taken off in the 70th minute, which must be completely frustrating. But it can be argued that there are situations where he's just got to put some of these away. When we need him. It's not the whole It's not his whole thing, but there are you can point at situations where it's just like, God, we need you to put that one away.
Here's how I'd look at it to kind of explain my thought process on this. Cristiano Ronaldo, okay, also was up there for most big chances missed at his time with Juventus. This is natural. If you go across back 10 years, you're probably going to find the top goal scorers lead this category of big chances missed.
Had a lot of big chances missed.
Because they get a lot of. But would you say that Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't bag the ones he has to? You would not say that, because he was bagging the ones he needed to.
100 goals in 3 years.
So the big chances, he's missing big chances. He's up there high. So was Ronaldo. But Ronaldo was scoring the ones you needed. And we're like, hey, this has to go in the back of the net. He was putting those in.
That's Ronaldo. But you can make the same argument with Higuain, right?
When we needed one, it too. Yeah.
When we needed one, that crazy son of a bitch, he'd pop one out of nowhere.
And at the same time,
and he went on cold streaks too, but man, when we needed
Vlahovic's goals at the start of the year were kind of at those moments. There were few, but they were at those moments, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now they've become 2024. It's like, okay, he fed on the shit teams. but he hasn't scored on the bigger teams in the 2024 calendar
So
year.
that's a big knock.
And he's missed big ones that it's like, okay, you're not just missing big chances and it's high, and yes, all the top guys missing. It's like, we need those in the back of the net. The creation is besides the fact, because if you're getting the chance, they've created it.
I'll help the Vlahovic backers, which is me. His teammates around him haven't been giving him a lot of good service, but when in times like this, it's if you want to be the man, you got to finish some of those chances. We're not saying
Yeah.
finish all of them. Of course, you're going to miss some, but there's a handful in there that would have been like, God damn, if he just had to hit that one.
And
And some of those got to go.
ultimately, I'm fine with him staying. I have no problems with him staying.
You better be.
It would be tough to find, I think, an upgrade. I think there's guys that have been named as upgrades that have a little bit of a question mark around them. Xerxes, I actually believe would work with the two of them, personally. Now, George says, in my opinion, we need a starting center back, starting left back, one, maybe two starting midfielders, a starting winger. Valid? Yes.
Sorry, I got sidetracked.
That's completely valid. He's saying we need a starting center back, a starting left back, one, maybe two midfielders, a starting winger. Is that valid? Yeah. I'd say we definitely need two midfielders, if not three, but two starters for sure. Starter level midfielders, one being top tier, okay? A starting winger, yes. Starting center back, yes. Starting left back, absolutely. Absolutely.
You got that's why the manager piece is so important. Is you got to get that sorted quickly, just so the mercato is, and then there's no excuses, right? You can say, okay, Juntli, and if it's Mota who's coming in, we'll make that assumption. Then those two can sit down and say, okay, what players do you want? We can't bring them all in. I think I'm going to pump the brakes here. This shit show isn't going to get fixed this summer. I don't think people should get their expectations high. It's not going to get fixed this summer. I think this summer is going to sort of set the things, and then next summer, I think it's going to take at least 2 summers to fix this. I think we can make a big dent in it, but
I think, yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think we're going to see a little bit of groundwork this summer, but I actually wouldn't be surprised if the winter gets more activity than in previous years. And there's some interesting things playing in there, and there's more to it, because like I did hear all of a sudden that Elken has opened up to the sale of Juventus. Not full sale.
Minority stake.
Yeah. So I've heard that he has opened up to that, and that could play part. And then obviously sponsorships, more deals coming down the line. I've heard that groundwork could be a play, and a winter that is kind of unexpected we might see. So we'll see what happens. Holy shit, there's a lot of Storm the Barn today. Let's try and
I don't have much time left, so let's. I gotta get rolling here. So let's blow through some of these.
In the summer transfer window, should we reestablish an Italian core? I'm fine with whoever the hell it is. Like, I mean,
they can be Swahili for all I care, as long as they love the jersey and play for this team. Like balls out, balls to the walls, day in and day. I don't care where they're from.
Yeah,
an Italian core would be nice, but
I'm fine with whatever it is. But I will say that I tend to your point, Anth, find that the Italians do hold that weight to the shirt because they understand it more. Not to say the foreigners don't, but the majority of the Italians do. So if it happens, that's great, but it's not the be-all, end-all for me personally. Okay? Storm the Barn from Forza Juve, a random realistic player that has no connection with Juve that you would like to bring in this season. A random realistic player, Orsolini. Orsolini for me. Would be a random that I think realistic. In terms of a winger too, yeah.
I think there's going to be. I think we're going to see I don't have any names. I think there's going to be some sort of Bundesliga, La Liga, League One midfielder. Juntli is going to pull it of his ass. That's going to come in here and help out. He's going to
Yeah.
somebody that he was linked to a decade ago or help play in Capri or something, whatever in Como. He's gonna find somebody coming in here, some random player.
Hmm. There you go.
Right?
There you go. We'll see what happens. Realistically, where does Allegri go? This one coming in from Miran. Stay in Italy or abroad?
He's going to his horse stables. There's no way this guy gets a job.
Oh, he'll get a job. He'll get
No
a job.
chance.
He'll be somewhere in Italy. Watch.
Oh, I'll watch.
Who's sorry. Who's are the realistic option for fullbacks available on the market for Juve? We haven't we just got that last name. And we had a couple. We had the guy from Bayern that was thrown out there. That Juve's been linked with for like a couple seasons now. We just got this last 19-year-old. I can't even remember his name. That 19-year-old Turk, Berke Yilmaz or whatever. I don't really know, you guys. The nice thing about Mazraoui, Thiago Jallo literally can play anywhere across the back four. Can we please just fucking see this guy for a couple minutes before making some of the calls?
It is unbelievable. This guy hasn't gotten any minutes. And can we please with the DeShilio can't get me 14 goddamn minutes?
It's 18, isn't it?
It's 14. Shut your face. It's 14 minutes.
Added time. 18. And this is going to be golden. And you watch, that fucker's going to dress up for the last game of the season. That means
he's coming in the 72nd minute of the last game of the year. It's going to be awesome.
For those of you that have forgot, that bet's still going, and it's who was going to get the most minutes this season between Pogba and DeShilio, and I literally hold the lead by 18 minutes. Without a serious mercado, we will be destroyed in Champions League in an ugly way. Anth, you've always said it the entire time.
What are we?
Champions League.
Don't even. You should have zero. Okay. You should expect Juventus to finish 23rd in Champions League next year. 24th below, get relegated out. God willing, we finish 23rd. Don't even midweek Champions Leagues. You want to know something? We're going to do shows. We're going to do like 1,000 shows next year. It's going to.
You know what? It comes down to how much we believe can be changed in such a short period of time at the coach, and we need to still see the roster. Mm-hmm. But this is what I've been saying to Ant's point. Allegri has established nothing for the next guy. There's
nothing to
no chemistry. There's no team play. These guys got by the first half of the season by pure grit and just working their bags off. It needs so much work. Like, I'm not even thinking at that. For me, it starts off this simplistic. Play good 90 minutes of football. However the hell your style is, mixing in out of defensive to offensive, have good smooth counterattacking. Like, for me, it's just play well in a full match. That's how simplistic I'm getting going into next year based off what we've seen this year, okay? That's really where we're at. For me, we got time for one last one. 5 signings in and 5 out next year, realistically considering capital and stat. Okay.
Stiff.
For me,
Capitals and stiffies.
Okay.
Out.
Oh, out? Easy. Kostic. I would say Keane over Milik, and I'd probably be okay hanging on to Milik one more year. Okay.
Agreed.
Kostic, Keane.
Do it. Rabiot.
Sandro, Rabiot. I'm open to McKennie going out too. It's not the be-all, end-all, but that's an easy 5 right there. I'd probably even go as far to say that one of those young guys with big capital has to be gone. Sule or Hoyson, one of them might have to go to fund this mercado for sure.
I think both are sold.
You think both?
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I think Sule's definitely being sold.
I think one is going to be sold. In terms of 5 signings in, Coop, Samardzic, Calafiori,
Oh.
Coop Samardzic, Calafiori, um, and I'd be good with Colpani as well. Di Gregorio, five.
That would be our
Pedin out.
that right
Pedin's
there.
going to be out.
I think that those five that you listed right there is probably our best would be our best summer transfer window in terms of going from one team to the next, like one season to the next. That would be our best summer transition in I don't even know how long.
But
If
it's
you nail all
still,
five of those,
and in there, we still need like a fullback. We still need a winger in help there. So it doesn't end there with those five players. That's why it's going to be very difficult.
yeah. So there's Adam's question. Like go to Adam's question.
We got
Yes,
a
it
lot of
is.
work to do. Where's Adam's question?
I got to go to
Oh,
work.
right here.
I
Does
actually
Skanger
have a
really
job.
have to go? Is it really
Yeah,
important? More important?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And my daughter's
Yes.
in a basketball tournament that I'd like to go watch. So I
Real
got a lot of shit going on.
real last here, you guys. Coppa Italia Wednesday reminder. I am running the watch along. Okay, I'll be here. We'll ride it out. As far as we'll have the preview show the
Oh
morning
yeah,
of as well.
better believe that.
Guys, I'm not even putting a prediction out there. Ant says it's a victory.
Oh yeah, book it.
Book it, guys. Great
Book
show.
it.
Despite what happened, like I said, we got in the Champions League. Right now, the focus is on putting our best foot forward on Wednesday, by all means, and then from there on out, let's see what management can do at starting to establish the standards. Okay, you guys made this one a real fun one, despite a show that could have really gone aggressively in a negative manner. I had a great time. Anthony, I thank you as always. Frank is saying, and he's been saying this for a long time, Conte incoming. We will see. We will see. We always say where there's smoke, there's fire, but sometimes there can be too much smoke, and maybe we get a
Never
surprise.
enough smokes, buddy. Oh, smoke. Okay, never mind.
That- Till next time, as always, you guys, absolute pleasure. Okay? Fino alla fine, Forza Juventus, no matter what, we'll get you ready, hyped up, and the watch along Wednesday for Coppa Italia. Please give us a trophy out of
Oh my,
what we've had to endure for 3 seasons.
you owe
Get
us.
the job done. We'll talk to you all real soon. Thank you, as always.
Yeah.